As a filmmaker, you have to have a stand. You can't say ये भी अच्छा है वो भी अच्छा है. नहीं नहीं, ये अच्छा वो अच्छा नहीं है. उनमें से आपको चूज करना पड़ेगा. Your choice has to be there. It's going to be your film. Otherwise the audience ये भी था वो भी था ये भी था वो भी था सब कुछ था. तो क्या था? What was the film all about? हमको नहीं पता. So not much of a film if people at the end of 2 hours or 3 hours don't know what the hell was going on. So comes to the next thing, which is clarity of thought. Clarity of thought. And how do you get clarity of thought? By developing your ideas not only in one direction, but by starting with developing them in several directions and then making a choice saying, okay, this seems to be the best choice. Without choice, you will find that it becomes pretty boring. And only two kinds of people don't make choices. One, those who are absolutely lazy, they don't make choices, and one who are absolutely not imaginative. क्योंकि creativity, imagination, creativity का खून है. Without imagination, creativity नहीं हो सकती. आप copycat ज़रूर बन जाएंगे, creative नहीं होंगे, क्योंकि आपकी imagination जो है, वही आपको आगे बढ़ाएगी, वही आपके characters को अलग करेगी, वही आपकी कहानी को. और ये नहीं कि जी कहानी में twist है. अरे वो twist की ज़रूरत है कि नहीं? Twist की ज़रूरत है. अगर twist की ज़रूरत नहीं है तो क्यों डाल रहे हो? There must be some reason, even if it is as stupid a reason. भाई audience को ज़रा सा झटका देना है, ठीक है भैया, but वो overall pattern में जा रहा है कि नहीं? क्योंकि then you come to the next thing, which that it must have, like anything, it must have a cohesive unity, जिसको हम कहते हैं. उसका जो पूरा आकार जो है, it should be pleasing, it should be logical, it should be reasonable, it should be satisfying to the average intelligent person. Right? So these are the basic parameters. There's nothing new about this, or have I said something terribly enlightening? No, I'm just trying to codify these things for you, which might help you tomorrow when you start working on your scripts. Now, there is always a big argument, why do directors need a screenplay writer? Directors are educated, definitely. They're supposed to be more educated. They should be far more educated than anybody else. They need technical expertise, they need technical knowledge. Cameraman कहेगा सर मैं इसमें ये मैं zoom की जगह ट्रॉली लगा दूँ, कि फ़र्क पैंदा है. वो बहुत फ़र्क पैंदा है. लेंस में बहुत फ़र्क पड़ता है, इस लाइट से बहुत फ़र्क पड़ता है, यहाँ पे 2 लाइट और होंगी तो बहुत ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क पड़ता है, हर चीज़. तो जब everybody is completely knowledgeable about it, everybody is completely knowledgeable, then you say कि ये अब चलेगा. That is why one person, there have been people who have written their films, directed their films, even given the music, edited everything. Satyajit Ray was one such person. Raj Kapoor Saab was another such person. Shyam Benegal, I know, is another such person. I'm sure somebody like Ashutosh Gowarikar is also somebody like this. He would know. He may not actually sit and compose. Satyajit Ray used to do that. Charlie Chaplin used to do that. बट कंप्लीट फिल्म मेकर होना इतना आसान काम नहीं है. और आपको ह्यूमन बींग्स के बारे में सब जितनी कंप्लीट जानकारी हो सकती है, यू हैव टू बी अ साइकियाट्रिस्ट, यू हैव टू बी अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट, यू हैव टू बी एवरीबॉडी. यू हैव टू बी अ सेंट, यू हैव टू बी अ सिनर, यू हैव टू बी काइंड, यू हैव टू बी क्रूअल, यू हैव टू बी सेन, यू हैव टू बी मैड, बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट ह्यूमन नेचर इज ऑल अबाउट. Great performance क्या होती है? What is a great? How would you classify a great performance or a good performance from an actor? How would you define it?
सर रियलिटी शो होना चाहिए. रियलिटी शो होना चाहिए. हाँ, भी हम कोई परफॉर्मेंस करेंगे तो उसमें लगना चाहिए कि ये हकीकत है.
हाँ, करेक्ट. बिलीवेबल लगना चाहिए कि बिल्कुल ऐसा हो सकता है, क्योंकि हम हर कैरेक्टर से we don't meet all kind. I've never met a rapist. I've met a murderer. I've never met a child molester. I've heard about them. There are so many people that you have never met. But does that mean that if you haven't met them, you can't write about them or you can't portray them? Of course you can. You will have inputs from people who know better. You will have inputs from the writer. You will have inputs from your director. As an actor, I might have my own inputs, but which should fit into the overall pattern. And then only are we talking about a complete cohesive unit called film. Then of course all the technical aspects will come into it. Is it better to shoot this in traveling shot? Is it better to shoot it here, etc., etc. All those technicalities, and there are hundreds of them. hundreds of them. Merely putting a camera here, just shifting it from here, traveling it from here, making the composition tighter, zooming in, zooming. Oh boy, I mean the same thing can have so many possibilities. How do you select? You can't shoot all of it. You can't. You have to make your choices before you shoot. And it must fit in with the overall pattern. Then comes the pace of the film, then comes the music of the film, then etc., etc., etc. So it's the most difficult thing to do is to make a film. Very difficult. And today, of course, there are other big problems like, अरे यार ये picture बिकेगी कितने की? So you are already thinking of a film as some kind of a thing which has to go into a showroom and ग्राहक आएंगे और या तो ताली बजाएंगे या showroom की खिड़की तोड़ेंगे. लेकिन either way, you will have to make a film which has some reaction from your audience. That is vitally important in everything that we do. They have to react, they have to respond to the film that you make. Otherwise, it is impossible.